Yo, what is good, yo? It's your boy Ty back here with another video. Now, before we dive into my Season 7 predictions, which is what we are going to be going over today, who do I think the Unlimited reward is going to be? Limited, Exchange, Ascension, all those players, my predictions for Season 7. If you are new to my channel and have not yet, please smash that subscribe button as we're on the road to 70,000 subscribers. So one thing I want to talk about before we dive into Season 7 in specific, so the fact that Season 6, I would think if you ask the normal person their thoughts on it, just wasn't really what it should have been. And I think a lot of that is just because the content, that's what keeps 2K going. It really is, and it just really wasn't there as far as from 2K's side of things. But I do expect Season 7 to be better, not necessarily with just strictly the rewards, but just as far as content is concerned, I do expect Season 7 to be even better. So we're going to start from the worst going to the best. I think if you ask the normal person what is the worst thing or the thing you're least excited about, it's going to be the exchange reward. Now, we have seen Bobby Jones added to the exchange, which obviously is a decent enough W, but that was just as a glitch reward. I don't expect anything fire at the start of next season. Obviously, we've seen Lou Hudson. We've seen guys like Rudy LaRusso, who, I mean, I guess he's usable. But two guys that came to mind for me that could be plugged in here. First of all, we got Tom Heinsohn. Now, we haven't seen a Heinsohn card in forever. Like, we haven't seen Tom. I think the last card we have is a Sapphire Tom Heinsohn, but he's always a card 2K feels they need to add a good one at the end of the game. So, look, where's a better place for a bad card, but a high-rated card than the exchange? The other guy I did think about today was Alex English. If we got him, again, not a card I would be super excited to use, but a card I wouldn't be surprised to see, because, you know, you see a lot of old-time players in here. We got like an Elvin Hayes type of card, so don't be surprised to see another card along those types of lines. I don't expect the exchange reward to be anything that's worth really too much. Our next thing is going to be Domination Spotlight Sim. So here's the thing. So far in Domination, we have 495 stars that you can possibly have. Now here, when you go in here and look at, where's it at? If you look at here, there's going to be 594 total stars in Domination. So the thing is, are we going to see Spotlight Sims or are we going to see Domination in this season? And my best prediction is that we're going to see Spotlight Sims. That's kind of where my mind is at. Could we see another Domination? We absolutely could. We absolutely could. But my guess is we're going to see Spotlight Sims this season, Domination the season after. We could see both this season. You just never know. But I'm going to go with Spotlight Sims. And I think the East reward is going to be one of the most typical rewards is Pascal Siakam. That's the guy I think of right away, that a card that I think could be very good, that a lot of people would grind for in Siakam. We saw it last year. If you could make a usable Siakam at this point in the game that's, you know, has those near 40 Hall of Fame badges, I think a lot of people would grind for that card. As far as West, I got Kristaps Porzingis. We haven't seen a good KP, I don't think, in a while. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Kristaps, just normal center power forward in Domination, or in Spotlight Sims, I should say. And then the next Kristaps would be a glitch, you know, shooting guard type card that we saw last year. And then as far as the total reward, right? Because if we go back to the Spotlight Sims that we saw East, West, or whatever the case was. We saw, you know, West unsettled on one side, Brandon Roy on the other side, and then the ultimate reward was John Wall. So if we see that again with the Spotlight Sims, I think the ultimate reward, a card we definitely could see is an RJ Barrett. Now, if we do get an RJ Barrett, I wouldn't be surprised to see him be that Dark Matter. And honestly, all the rewards could be a Dark Matter. We could get a Dark Matter Siakam and a Dark Matter KP. I would suspect those would be Galaxy Opals, and the ultimate reward would be RJ Barrett. But I think a lot of people would grind that, to be honest with you guys, and I think that would be a very good addition for 2K to add at the start of next season. So the next thing we're going to talk about is, what do I expect? The token market's been closed for so long. Do I expect it to open? Look, I don't know. I can't even sit here and tell you. And if it does open, I don't expect anything crazy out of it. But as far as token rewards, I'm just going to go over Pink Diamonds, Galaxy Opal, and then the Dark Matter that I do expect. So at the Pink Diamond tier, some guys that I have on my list are two guys, Larry Johnson and Eddie Jones. I think those two guys would be good additions here into the token rewards. And here's why. Because those players aren't necessarily hype beast type of cards, but they're useful cards that a lot of people would, you know, have, could use. For example, I think a lot of times later in the year, 2K does add those, you know, usable Pink Diamonds, whatever the case may be. So I think those two guys would be good for the Pink Diamond tier. At the Galaxy Opal tier, two guys that came to my mind are Mitch Richmond and George Griffin. Now, Mitch Richmond is just kind of the hype type of card. I shouldn't even say hype, but a lot of people would lock him in just to have fun with. I wouldn't expect him to be too good. The other card is George Griffin. I think if they made George Griffin with the right type of mindset behind him, he could be very, very solid. We haven't really seen a solid Griffin in a while, but I think they could update George Griffin and make him very, very solid. And then as far as the total overall dark matter player, I'm going to go with Lamar Odom. I think if they fix Lamar Odom's jump shot, I don't like the Paul George base on him, but let's say they gave him like the base 98 type of release, I think a lot of people would love Lamar Odom, 6'10 frame. They could even leave him a small forward, power forward, and a lot of people would like that card. If they made him right, a lot of people would be locking in for the dark matter Lamar Odom card. So next we are going to be talking about MyTEAM Unlimited and MyTEAM Limited. Let's start off with MyTEAM Limited, a mode that is just not it for me. I don't personally like the mode. I know a lot of you guys like it. For me, it's just not the same. It's not what I expected it to be, and maybe I have bias towards it, but it is what it is. A card I think we could see in MyTEAM Limited is this card right here. We haven't seen this card in a long time, and I know we saw one last year in the Spotlight Sims, I'm pretty sure. But if we could see it would probably be a dark matter at this point, Walter Davis, as far as a limited reward. I think a lot of people would grind it, because similar to like a DeRozan type card, he's a free card that a lot of people would like just because strictly that Tracy McGrady type base. A lot of people would grind for Walter Davis. I have no doubt in my mind. As far as the unlimited reward, where's my man's? We haven't seen a Julius Erving in forever. Like, I don't even know if there's one available. This is the Amethyst one. Obviously, we got the 2 pink diamonds, but we haven't seen a Julius Erving in forever. So if he was the unlimited reward, I know we just got a shooting guard small forward, but if he was the unlimited reward, I think a lot of people would be okay with it, would be excited about it, and throw me in that list. I would probably be excited for another chance to get Dr. J, because we haven't had a Dr. J in forever, and he's always been a card that a lot of people like in 2K. So I think he's another card you can throw in here as a possibility for our MyTEAM Unlimited reward. I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, we just got a shooting guard small forward. Right. I think Dr. J fits this mold perfectly. After Dr. J, I am going to be talking about the triple threat online boards. I know this season we saw Ron Harper, we saw Julius Randle. The guard I think we could see at the start of next season is Xavier McDaniel. Now here's why. Xavier McDaniel is a card in 2K that is always solid. When I think the pink diamond, the Evo up to pink diamond last year was incredible. This year we haven't even seen a good really Xavier McDaniel yet. So if they made Xavier McDaniel right and kind of gave him the right stuff, he could be an incredible triple threat online reward. And I think 2K is going to be back to that kind of looking for exciting modes to play for people. So I think Xavier McDaniel would be a good addition to the triple threat online boards. Now, triple threat offline, the next prize is going to be 1,500 wins. And when I came down to the 1,500 win reward, there's a lot of guys that kind of crossed my mind. Now, the one that kind of stuck out for me, is the Kembe Mutombo. We haven't seen a center for a while. We saw Fat Lever, a point guard. We saw Stojakovic, small forward, power forward. Before that, we saw Doug West. Before that, we saw Michael Finley. Before that, we saw Victor Oladipo. And before that, obviously, we saw JaVale McGee, who was our center. So, kind of thinking along the lines of another center here, and the Kembe Mutombo was a guy that crossed my mind. Now, as far as the vault reward, I'm going to give you a guy that most of you guys have probably never heard of. That guy's name is Bob Rule. Back in 1970, was an all-star, average 30 points for the Supersonics. And I know most of you guys probably haven't heard of him, but make it known, 6'9", I think he'd be a perfect guy to run at that small forward position if they do give him small forward eligibility, which you just never know what 2K is going to do with positions now. But I think he's a guy that 2K could look into adding because he was very, very solid in 1970. So when it comes down to what we got left, we have the Ascension reward. There's so many different people we could see as far as the Ascension reward. One guy I want to see as far as an Ascension reward that would just kind of have some meaning behind it is Elgin Baylor. Now, when I say that, I don't want them to put Elgin Baylor in packs. They can, it's fine. But I would rather, and Elgin Baylor's not such a hype player, but because he passed away, I think Ascension's a good opportunity for people to, be able to feel that grand prize reward and get Elgin Baylor. I think he would be a good addition. Another guy I think we could see is a Bob Pettit card. Now, if they put him in Ascension, don't expect him to be too juiced up, but he's just another guy we could possibly see as that Ascension reward. Now we're going to talk about level 40, and we're going to spend a decent amount of time talking about the level 40 reward, because I do think the level 40 reward has the ability to make or break the season. I think because it was JR this year, the season as in general, just season 7 or season 6 was just not what it could have been. Like if they would have had, let's say, a Dark Matter Michael Porter Jr., I think a lot more people would have been excited just to play the game. Whereas, I mean, nobody really wanted J.R. Smith. He's not really like that. So my thing is this, they got to make the level 40 rewards somebody that a lot of people are going to want. Now, do I expect them to release LaMelo Ball or LeBron James as a level 40? Probably not, because when we go all the way back, the only hyped up player to that extent, I think, if I have it right, would be Steph Curry. I mean, outside of that, I don't think there's that hype of a player that has been dropped in here. So if 2K wants to put a point guard LeBron in here, in my opinion, they could do that. Some other cards I think we could see. This is not my prediction, but cards we could see in here. We could see a Michael Porter Jr. type of card. We could see James Wiseman. I don't think James Wiseman has the hype type of name like a LaMelo Ball to that extent, but a Wiseman card would be very, very solid. Those are the first two guys that kind of come to mind as far as possibilities. Now, if I had to bet a lot of money, who would I bet it on? I think we're going to see a shooting guard, small forward, Paul George. Now, hear me out. Hear me out when I say Paul George. The Galaxy Opal was a card a lot of people loved. A lot of people absolutely swore by that Galaxy Opal card. And that Galaxy Opal stat-wise, badge-wise was very, very solid. But Paul George is a card that at 6'9", they make him 6'9", guys. If they give him the Curry Escape, current gen, next gen, his player build, he beats people up his release. A majority of people are agreeing with the release. A lot of people, similar to Kawhi Leonard, always like a good or great Paul George type of card. So that's kind of a card I think a lot of people would grind for if they made him right. And when I say made him right, gave him everything. Made him super, super juiced, basically as juiced as a Paul George could possibly get without being a GOAT card. That's kind of where I would kind of trend in my thought process on behind what could 2K do to make a super exciting card that people would grind for without a super hype name. Paul George is commonly known, obviously he's incredible, but at the same time, he's not the LaMelo Ball, he's not the LeBron James. He's not that big of a name in my opinion. Another option as far as a possibility, if they wanted to, throw back to Glenn Rice and give him base 98 on very quick as a shooting guard, hey, you guys do it. Do what you guys got to do, even if you gave him point guard eligibility. I feel like that would be a grindable card. But no matter what 2K does, they need to make sure the level 40 reward card is everything it needs to be, because this is what keeps people playing the mode a lot of the time when the content isn't necessarily there. But that is going to wrap it up for my predictions today, guys. Comment down below your predictions. I want to know what you guys are thinking. Obviously, these are my predictions. The odds of me getting any of these right are probably not very good. You probably see a player here that is obviously in my team at the start of next season, but like a Bob Rule type of player, the odds of them releasing Bob Rule are less than 1%. But that's a card that when I was doing research, I was like, they could possibly release him. Let me know down below in the comments your guys' thoughts. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.